Datacasting provides a link that is consistent, reliable, stable. The ability for a teacher to provide content to a student specific to what that student's needs are outside of school hours when that student doesn't have any internet access in their home.
What this is it's a way for teachers to assign schoolwork remotely to students, and they can do it at home without coming in the building. And quite honestly, in most cases, that's all we need. And so there's a ton of potential there. You think about just a typical sick day where a kid doesn't feel well and they're not able to come to school. Their makeup work can begin the next day, or they could even do it later that day if they're feeling better. And so I think there's a potential there to help kids stay concurrent and not fall behind.
It's easy to not see the need right now because we don't have as much inclement weather, because we don't have as much time off from school. As we get into the fall and we get into fall break and we get into fog, flooding, ice, snow, and we have those unplanned days off school, that's when everybody starts to scramble and say, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Where's the parachute? The parachute's there. So that's, I think, one of the big things we need to do with parents and with students and with our teachers is to make sure not only that, okay, yeah, we talked about this thing called datacasting a while back, but this is where it's at, this is how it's used, this is the proper use for it.
We knew going into prior to the pandemic that not everybody had internet connectivity at their house. But when the pandemic started, we did some updated surveys. And what we found that probably about 3/4 of our family, 75% or so, had reliable internet at home. Another 25% did not. Of those 25%, probably 15% felt like they could go to a neighbor or a relative's house and be on the internet. So that still left about 10% of our student population with nothing. No access, and nobody they felt comfortable sending their kids to have internet.
It's critical to keep a lifeline to families even though they don't have internet at home.
Once I learned that PBS was going to be partnering to provide this for free, we thought, wow, we need to try and take advantage of this. There's really no risk involved from a school corporation perspective. The devices are being provided, the technology is there. I would recommend starting small scale as we did.
We currently have about 140 students out of our 1,150 that have datacasting equipment at home. If we get north of 250 students and get closer to 300, I think that really is where we need to be. That's the number of students that have absolutely no internet that is reliable on a consistent, regular basis.
We started last fall with a very small group of students and kind of piloting the program. And then in the spring, we expanded that program to, I believe, all secondary students. And so the more students, teachers, and families that understand how to use it, the more productive they are. We don't want people to be frustrated with the technology. So that's kind of one of the things we've tried to do. Teachers, of course, wanted to know how it works and how they can get this information to their students, but they're very open to the idea. And so the key for them is training them, reminding them that, hey, it's really not any extra work for you.
We've matured in our understanding of how to leverage datacasting, not just to provide new classroom content to a student, but then we also can connect them to the community, different services that are available. It's a way of not just saying, okay, we want your child to get new content for school, but it's a way of saying, hey, family, let's get you engaged in the larger community, both the town, the county, the township, all those different forms, not just the school. We have a percentage of our students that don't have access to resources and don't have access to new content. And when you look at days, unplanned days away from school, datacasting addresses that right up front and eliminates that as a problem. When you get to planned days away from school, datacasting can ameliorate that too. Some critics say, well, you know, it's only 10% of our students or 5% of our students. And my answer back to them is, well, what percentage is acceptable to leave behind?